Hello. In this video we are going to talk about money supply and money demand in real terms intuitively. And we are going to analyze one of the graphs of the simulator. In the video titled Nominal GDP and Real GDP Intuitively, in this playlist you can see that I'm going to watch it very fast now, that level price or GDP deflector is nominal GDP divided by real GDP. You can watch the video again if you don't remember. So basically nominal GDP is the GDP calculated with the current prices, so it is affected by inflation, where the real GDP are calculated with the base year, so it's not affected by inflation. So level price, that is denoted by P, is nominal GDP divided by real GDP. So this is what we're going to write here. Level price P is nominal GDP divided by real GDP. So nominal GDP is real GDP times P. And also real GDP is nominal GDP divided by P. And this is the concept that we are going to use now. In the previous video we saw that the central bank determined the supply of money, which is a nominal money, and we saw that it was a vertical line, and we also justified in the previous video that the demand for money, which is nominal, has a negative slope. What we are going to do now is to pass from the nominal concept to the real money supply and money demand. So this is what we recently saw, that real GDP is nominal GDP divided by price level. So similarly the real money supply, which we are going to denote it like this, is nominal money supply divided by price level. So every time that you have a nominal macroeconomical concept, you are taking into account inflation. If you divide it by the price level, you get the real macroeconomical concept that is not affected by inflation. And then we will refer to that like the GDP in real terms or money supplied in real terms. Nominal money supply we denoted by M, and price level we denoted by P. And we can see one of the graphs in the simulator where this red line, this vertical red line, is M divided by P, so it represents the real money supply, which is this red vertical line. In this video and in many videos after this, we assume that level price is constant, otherwise we wouldn't be able to say that this line is vertical. Now if we want to find the real money demand, how much cash or liquid money people require in real terms, that is why it is called L, that stands for liquidity, we have to take the nominal money demand and divide it by the price level. This L, that stands for liquidity, is this blue line that goes from here to here in this graph, that is this L. So this is what we are going to see with more detail. In previous videos we have seen this graph that show the inverse relationship between interest rate and investment. In future videos we are going to add this term, which tells us that investment not only depend on interest rate but also depend on income. what we are going to see now is why this blue line, which is liquidity or money demand in real terms, can be expressed like this. Actually, it can be expressed in different ways. I am going to include the reference where this form is used, which is very helpful to draw the graphs. If we compare this expression with this expression, both are quite similar, at least mathematically, because in both cases you have a negative slope, first of all. In the case of liquidity, we see that y is a constant parameter, whereas I, interest rate, is a variable, an independent variable. And here we see that the intercept is this, not in the vertical axis, but in the horizontal axis. Why? Because this dependable variable is represented in the horizontal axis. And here is mathematically exactly the same. This is the intercept in the horizontal axis because liquidity is represented in the horizontal axis. Now, mathematically, if income increases, then this constant parameter increases, so you have a parallel shift in this case, like this, and here exactly the same, you have a parallel shift like this. So this intercept will go toward the right. When interest rate increases, because the interest rate is a variable, the independent variable, then in both cases you move along the curve, so you go up, the interest goes up, so you go from this point to this point. Because of this, the liquidity goes down from this value to this value. And here is the same thing. You move along the curve and then you go from here to here. The interest rate goes from 5 to 8. So because of that, the investment go from 50, from this value, to this value. So mathematically are quite similar, quite related. Now what happened with the conceptual part in the real world? If y increases, then income increases, which is y, and then people has more money in their pockets. Consequently, in the money market that people have to decide whether to have bonds or money, independently of the interest rate, people with more money in the pocket will want to have more transactions, so people demand for more money. So here you have a parallel shift. Doesn't matter what the interest rate is, if you have more money in the pocket, you need more transaction and the money demand increases. So this is what happened in the money market. What happened in the goods and services market? In the goods and services market, what you have is investment. So if people have more money in their pocket, they want to invest more independently of the level of interest rate, the current interest rate. They will want to increase their investment. So they will set up new farms, new factories, or they will increase the factory that they already have, including more warehouses, more equipment, etc. Now, what happened in the real world if interest rates goes up? In the money market, that you have to decide whether to hold bond or money, if the interest is low, well, in Argentina this would be a very low interest rate, then there's no too much incentive to keep bonds because the interest rate is low, and then we have more preferences for liquid money. And the opposite, if interest rate increases, then there's less incentive to keep liquid money, and there's more incentive to have bonds because they pay higher interest. What happened in the goods and services market? Well, the people that want to invest, if the interest rate is low, then loans are cheap, so they can ask for big loans to build new factories and equipment, etc. If the interest goes up, let's say from 5 to 8, then loans are more expensive, so they invest less. Or if you have different projects in the country with different return, then with low interest many projects will be profitable, so you will have a high level of investment. Where if the interest rate is high, then less amount of project will be profitable, so you have less amount of investment. Okay, in the next video we are going to see the LM curve, which is this blue line right here. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.